Today's episode, we're going to do a recap of the fights last night. It was several fights, so we're going to take turns and go around. The panel, we're going to go around and just talk about them. We'll cover everything from the Stevenson Valdez fight, Franchon fought as well, Katie Taylor bout where she fought, and a couple others. But before we begin, let's go ahead and go around the table. Co-panel hosts Marlon Parker, Carlos Massey. Let's get to it, fellas.
And you are
Ray Massey. Everyone.
There we go.
Every time.
Not everyone.
I don't have to do that.
All right. Okay.
All right. So let's go, man. Where do we start? So are we gonna say the best for last? Well, they all were good, but how you gonna do it?
All right. It was an interesting night last night. We'll save some of the easier fights to speak about. To kind of recap. Liam Smith.
Yes.
Liam Smith versus Jesse Vargas. That's all you get. So Liam Smith won. It looks like Jesse Vargas. He knew if he would have lost. If he lost, that this was it. Mm-hmm. He didn't have much left. So obviously, he probably can beat up some part-time fighters. But as far as going to B and A level fighters at 154, no. It was interesting. Late there was a couple of cuts. So it got bloody, and that's what made it interesting. But it wasn't appealing. Yeah, it was one of those fights. It was just in spurts. You'll see something dynamic, and the rest of the fight, you could, if you had some work you still needed to do on your laptop, you can do that and just come on. But hats off to Liam Smith because he pulled it out.
He's pretty impressive too.
He's still a contender. He's still back. I guess. A few people wrote him off after losing to Canelo, who hasn't lost to Canelo. And again, it's not much to mention about that fight, but that's one. What's the next one?
I mean, you are incidentally fans.
Here we go.
So
Here we go.
The team had to break it up.
Here we go.
Because there were so many bouts on yesterday that we kind of split up, man. So he's our DAZN guy. He took care of everything for the zone.
That's the nicest way to say it. It's actually a little more disrespectful.
I'm not
what you got? Okay, yeah. So I was waiting. I wanted to see how you would angle it.
I didn't say anything bad. It was no angle, no snap. Okay. Anything that was kind of boring and not fun to watch, we went ahead and passed off to Carlos.
And we trust he actually did watch.
I can't. Yeah. Well, who else? What's next? Who else for it?
We got a couple unifications yesterday, right?
A couple unifications. Franchon for it. How she look?
Yeah, be more. Yeah. She look. To me, I like her hometown.
Yeah,
Maryland. She look good. Like over there in Headbangers, she doing real good with Brianna. She was very aggressive. Pretty much controlled the fight from beginning to the end. She knew what she wanted. She wanted all them straps. So. Hats off to her, man. Like, congratulations, She did her thing.
Yeah, she did her thing. And the crazy part is, women's boxing, they don't get enough credit. Those women, they fight hard. I remember watching her fight. In my opinion, was one of her toughest fights when she fought that. Was that who's that one? The lady. She was. Yeah. She was kind of. She was juiced a little bit. I just say that.
Allegedly.
No, she was.
Yeah,
she was. Okay. That's why I think that was a no contest as a matter of fact. But she fought her heart out. And when I tell you, not getting enough credit for the fact that she unified the titles, and women's boxing, and you could do a Google search and that's found one piece of information on her. It was crazy. Right, but because other stuff happened yesterday. I mean, but it's not like you shouldn't have seen anything.
Yeah, right. I love that fight. As you see, I guess people watching this might see me playing with the phone. It was so exciting. I was taking notes the entire time.
Okay.
And so, Cedar Roost made it a little easier for DAZN than it should have been.
Right.
And actually, let's bring these notes back out. I'm only going over 3. Obviously, anyone who went to school with me know I take copious notes.
Yeah.
But even kept her left low and kept getting hit by big right hands. And she kept moving towards the big right hand.
What's up with that?
Sometimes it's hard. I mean, when you're in Bible, I get it. I'm not defending or justifying it, but that's why you have to stay disciplined when you get to the upper levels.
But there was also another issue in this fight. Cedar Rose, they couldn't stop the bleeding from her nose early.
Oh.
And so instead of it at any point wiping the blood from her face, they just let it just kept caking. And you know, now it's in the hair, and every time she gets hit, there's more blood just spreading, and it gives you that visual. Even if she has a spurt where she gets off in exchange, you're looking at a fighter who's just blood everywhere. So it looks like a loser. At any point, you could have just wiped her face off, done anything. But no, they didn't wipe her face off at all.
She was on her from beginning to end. Even when Cedar Rose tried to, like later on, like maybe the 9th or 10th, like she tried to establish the jab, and she had catch her with a good one, and then Discern back on her.
It was predictable.
Yeah.
Her attack was predictable. And Discern, she threw quite a few shots that just, probably from the parking lot. You saw them coming. They were huge shots. She just loaded up. And a lot of, quite a few of them, Cedar Rose got out of the way of. Cedar Rose is a good fighter. You see what she did to Alicia Napoleon. But she pushed Discern, but she didn't make her go all the way into her bag of tricks.
Okay.
That was it. It was a tough fight, but she didn't have to actually pick up her movement, do this and do that. But credit to Cruz Discern, she looked good.
Okay.
And she looked like she's ready for you know who.
You know what?
Yeah, you know what?
All right,
That's
man.
what I want to see.
All right, man.
Do we say it? Do we say it?
Say it.
Say it.
Sedation.
There we go.
That's
That's
it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we want to see the best of the best go at it, and I think that's a good bout. Perfect bout for that division. Former Olympian going up against strong, tough Discern.
Oh, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Transitioning over to the, I guess for the most part, the fight of the night, which was.
We have one more in the zone.
We don't want to run through the tape.
No.
Which one we have in the zone?
Man, the highlight.
Oh,
The headline.
Oh,
Come on, man. Come on.
Okay,
Come
go
on.
ahead.
Come on. Katie Taylor.
Let's talk about Katie.
Amanda Serrano.
I was upset about that one because
I had Serrano winning by 2 rounds.
I thought I wanted her to win. I was tracking the status of it online. I was trying to, stay in it to win it. I was doing a little cleaning up to make sure I can stay up to watch this Stevenson fight. But I know if I hit that couch too long, it's gonna be over.
Yeah.
But yeah, what happened, man?
It was a close fight, but it was split decision, 2 cards. One card was 97-93, 96-93. Totally disagreed with it. I had Serrano winning by 2 rounds. They were so close. Katie Taylor didn't. And you can even tell by how my voice changed. Katie Taylor.
No, I thought it just changed.
No, I've already got my main one.
Are you excited?
You did some weights earlier, so
So what are you gonna say? I'm juicing now? Well, I got back acting and everything, huh? Yeah, but Katie Taylor, I just wasn't impressed. Serrano was the better fighter, the more aggressive fighter. Taylor, she slipped a lot, but Serrano touched her more. And it appeared that Serrano was always in control, mostly in control of the fight. She was setting the pace, setting the tone. And even when she would miss, she was still on her.
Okay.
Man, I just don't see it. Yeah, the rounds were close, so you didn't get that late text like I usually do. I'm just outraged, but it could have went either way. I just don't agree. If you would have given it to her by 1 round, that's different.
Yeah.
But when you scored 97-93 or 96-93, and everyone who watched that fight, the consensus is no, it couldn't have happened.
Okay.
So
nothing we never seen before.
So it was a good fight, and I'm glad it was a headliner. It was a testament to women's boxing, the popularity, how it's increasing.
Yeah.
You had two big fights, and one was a headliner. And so I'm glad the Zone actually gave us that opportunity to see it. So
good stuff, man.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Great stuff.
May I talk about the fight? May I talk about?
You can, but you know it was so many fights. Keyshawn Williams.
Yeah, Keyshawn Williams. You know, we gotta get those fights. Even though, you know, we ain't gonna be able to cover
we
the
posted
fights not the way we want to
exchange.
because there was a lot of fights.
Exactly.
And the grandson of Muhammad Ali fought last night as well. But Keyshawn Davis, honorable mention, he did a phenomenal performance. I mean, when I tell you he broke his assignment down, he broke them down. If you get a chance to watch it, Andre Ward was in rare form. He was a fan for real. Like I've never heard Andre Ward when he commentates. He's very neutral, emotion neutral to it. But you can tell he was getting into that fight. It was a good fight, and he was excited about it. And you can hear more of the fan side than the analyst. And
he's the perfect balance for Tim Bradley. Exactly.
Perfect balance. And I like them both, but in this fight, like I said, hats off to Keyshawn. He took care of business. They were clean, concise. He landed like 57% of his power punches.
It was ridiculous.
And in the beginning, he was trying to get into his opponent's head. He didn't really touch gloves. I think he gave him a jab to the body, something crazy like that. And the referee was, hey. Referee was like, hold on, I want to stuff, right? But after that, though, you saw him systematically break his opponent down, control the distance. It was a clinic. Every punch.
It was just a continuation of what he's been doing in amateurs. To me, he goes in there, he's planning to dominate, and he's picking his shots. I mean, the body work was insane.
Yeah.
The guy was ready to go for like 3 rounds straight.
But he didn't go to the body until like later.
Later in the fight,
Andre Ward had come in on it. It was like, I was like, come on, go to body.
And that's what I'm speaking to. He couldn't finish him off up top, so he went to the body, and you can just see, man, it was a mismatch.
Yeah, he took what was available.
Do we all agree that he appears to be ready for better competition?
He's much sure. And what I like about the younger guys that's coming up, what I like about them is they got the courage to step up. They're not coming in here fighting bums. They're not trying to pad their record. And I agree with them. If I'm the best in the world, as an amateur, when I come into my professional status, I want all the best. Because 9 times out of 10, you can afford some of these people in the amateurs going into the pros.
And there's no shame in having a loss on your record. No. Once we get beyond that, we'll see more fights.
Yep.
It's still marketable. Boxing survived in the 80s and 70s, and a lot of our best fighters, all of them had L's for the most part.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't know. We're in this age where everybody got to kind of be, I'm not going to say a name, but they got to follow a certain formula, and you have to be perfect. Man, no one's perfect. It's not to say, and I've always been one of the belief that, when I remember what I was always taught, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice builds you to a level of proficiency. You know what I'm saying? Not perfection, but proficiency. If you can consistently, hit a mark, then you can have that confidence that you'll continue to do it over and over again. But I think when you set your sights at perfect, meaning without flaws, sometimes that can lead you down a false road where, like, you see some of these fighters, what do you think about your performance? A+. And then that wasn't an A+. You don't give yourself that honesty of reflection when your goal is to be perfect, meaning devoid of any flaws.
I know exactly what it means. I was wondering where you were going with this quote.
No.
Yeah.
I think, was it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a huge
I'll get it
quote.
next time for the
Look,
next.
we make mistakes during this podcast,
yeah.
and we usually talk about it afterwards.
We make mistakes, and we also host mistakes.
And yeah, I definitely blew the. I fudged his last name, Keyshawn's last name, probably.
Did you
I heard y'all
Yes,
start
it
slapping
Williams.
the head.
What is it?
Williams.
Williams.
It always happens. It always
Did you
happens.
see
So,
my hand come up?
obviously, this is an interactive, but you guys actually get to see us that we make mistakes and we just push through.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it never happened.
But we do joke with each other off camera.
I wasn't joking. Hey, look, man. Let's get to this Shakur Stevenson thing. He was great. He was
almost flawless.
almost.
As far as a boxer, almost flawless. He took a couple of shots late that he probably could have avoided.
Yeah.
But as far as that, but at that point, Valdez didn't have the power to put him away.
Yeah.
So it was a calculated risk.
Well, that's a genius of that the type of fighter he is. He knows when to gamble and he knows when not. Yeah. And sometimes you can have your opponent diminished to the point where it doesn't matter what he lands. Yeah. I mean, he spent. You know, essentially his power is no longer, because your power comes from your core. You know what I'm saying? Your power comes from your everything, that kinetic energy from that strike. It comes from the ground up. You know, but if you got an opponent on his heels the entire fight, he can't stop and generate that power. He can't. I mean, you saw what happened with Felix Trinidad when he fought Bernard Hopkins. You know, once he took away the hook, the rest was elementary. But back to the actual fight with Valdez, we saw from the very beginning the reach seemed to tell the story to me. Shakur kept him at the end of that jab.
Whoa.
But
credit to the ref because he could have taken a point on the pawing.
He could have. I saw that.
He gave him a hard warning in round 10.
Yeah.
The hard warning should have come in round 2.
He uses that jab like that in every fight.
You cannot paw. Now, one time Valdez yanked him. You remember?
Yeah, I saw that. But you know, sometimes depending on your referee, they let that stuff. They let that stuff slide.
A hard warning in round 10.
But this was
get out of here.
This all the belt.
Look at Floyd. Floyd forearmed a lot, and you can say that was a foul. But and look at what's his name? The heavyweight champion of the world. Why am I Tyson? No, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury. He did that. He threw the uppercut, then he pushed the guy down. I mean, the last impact, physical contact was a push. It was a two-handed shove.
They expect me a little.
So they let you go with some of that stuff.
But those are isolated within each round. It's not repetitive. The paw, he was pawing. He was measuring him. Pawing and
because most boxers tend to leave it out a little bit.
No, you saw the fight.
Yeah, I saw the fight. But see, this is what I'm gonna tell you. With Shakur Stevenson, he's getting to the point where he's going to be unstoppable because he thinks. First of all, he's always in there thinking. He controls distance. He uses his legs. If he gotta be there, he's gonna be there. If he don't, he's getting up out of there and he's shooting something. And when I seen him start running off his signature combinations, that straight to the body, that jab upstairs, looping that hook around, I said it's gonna be a short night. But credit to Oscar Valdez, he's a tough opponent. He went in there. Most people wouldn't have thought about keep shooting the right hand to a left hand fighter. Yeah. So he was in there thinking too. He still was trying to get something going, but it was too little, too late.
And he cut off the movement. Those body shots, and so that
he's world class. So it's not gonna be no easy.
For him. Yeah, he doesn't retire after this fight. He doesn't go away, and his stock isn't diminished. He lost to the best fighter at 130.
Yeah, exactly. I expect to see him again. What else do we have to say about that? So that fight, toward the end, great. Conference, but post fight, of course, nothing goes without a little controversy. There was a little bit of a scuffle at the press conference, but I believe from what I hear, we don't have nothing verified. So this is just us talking as fans. That it was a situation where a member of his family, a mother or someone, was being
something happened, some type of scuffle,
confrontation.
Yeah,
and I get it. It happens, but and I'm not sure that you can 100% avoid this. But part of that too, also comes with having a smaller like entourage. I mean, a lot of times when we make it to big leagues, and not to say that this happened in this case. We bring these entourage gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then that opens up your
it increases the likelihood of something
likelihood,
like this
because
happening.
I mean, how many times have we all went to a fight, right, to a show, and the scuffle that breaks out is not between the fighters, the actual people who combatants.
Right.
And fighters are ironically the more tame and level-headed, cool-headed folks in the room. There's always someone who's not a fighter who's super excited because of the electric guy, and then that's why I put an asterisk.
Well, it depends. I remember watching. I was at DC Armory. This was years ago, obviously. Saddam Ali had won a champ. He had actually, who did he knock out? I want to say Victor Ortiz, but no. The name, it escapes me at this point. And no, exactly. Someone stopped Saddam Ali. We were on the front row, and his whole entourage were there. They were cool guys. We were all yapping back and forth. And when Saddam Ali got caught, they didn't even wait. They got out of there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his people just left. And so they avoided going back and forth with everyone. It was cordial, the same that we all do, guys, just joking. Watch this. He's been training for this. But when he went down, they left. They didn't say anything. They all just left. And so there was no way it could escalate into anything more.
Right.
So
I think they should. You should when you go with your team, just have like a protocol, a security plan for you guys. Like when they go places together.
But how do you do that with all the cheap beer? Let's be honest. At all the fights, all the cheap beer. I mean, it's not cheap to you. It's cheap in terms of quality.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But I mean, he's young. He's gonna have to learn. Of course, he's gonna have some room to become more polished. But you gotta always be aware of the moment, and this is your biggest moment. You fought to get here. They had security there. Let the security folks do their job. A lot of times, the altercation gets escalated not because of the lack of security, but it's everybody else who wants to help the security. So in that moment, when he darted off of the platform, come on. I mean, and let the folks. They get paid to do this.
He should have waved his hand.
Because this is your spotlight. You run off the spotlight to go and try to break up a fight. But then I get it. If it's my mom, I gotta do what I gotta do.
These things happen at the amateur level as well. I remember years ago, we were leaving the amateurs with Golden Gloves, the Sugar Rays. This probably was 10 years ago, and something kicked off in the parking lot.
Oh, kicked off in the parking
lot. You said it, not me. Right. But yes.
Russell fight, remember? At the Russell fight, who was that? That big fight with Andre. Was it Darrell was fighting? And Uncle.
Uncle John.
And I was like, do y'all know we are at PG County?
You know how they
start swarming. I said,
you know how they get down.
To tell them, but
can't come in here.
Things unfortunate sometimes, but hopefully next time you have some big guys in there and security to keep moms and his family safe. So
and this topic alone is a show.
Exactly.
Another show.
Yeah. Exactly. And we can talk more about being able maintain your composure and that kind of stuff. And remember the same thing happened with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, yet again, he made the headlines. but it's not fair, man. It's not fair. So, from what I could see in the video, well, the headliner was misleading. The headliner said Mike Tyson goes berserk on the fan. Okay, I saw the video. I saw the video. Okay, so here's what really happened. So if you read the article, you're gonna be misled. You're gonna be thinking Mike Tyson, he went nuts again. But when you actually look at the video, this is something that me, you, or anyone else would probably do. Mike Tyson, of course, with the recent fan incident where the guy threw a water bottle at him, he had pummeled him a couple times, gave him a few love taps. So he's walking through, he's taking pictures, he's taking the time, he's engaging with fans and stuff. He's next to someone, he knows who this person is. He's posing for a picture, and then someone from behind him, he didn't know who, goes to reach and put their arm around his neck, trying to grab him or whatever, and he ducked and flicked the arm in the air like, hey, what the hell's going on?
Right.
Who would do that? Who wouldn't do that?
Right.
So, I mean,
space.
You gotta respect people's space.
But not this second incident on the airplane. You can't put your hands on people.
You can't.
Man, you may feel provoked. You're grown. We're all grown. We're all adults, and we all know the consequences of actions. And even if I'm not sure if that provocation, subjectively, you may be provoked and you may be outraged, but objectively, does it rise to the level where a reasonable person would react in that same fashion?
It depends, because with the fact, from what I can see, was around the circumstances, the airplane situation, he was being harassed for minutes. This wasn't like something that happened within the confines of a couple seconds. This was prolonged taunting. The guy was out of it. I think Tyson even he was polite to him at first, but then the guy threw water or threw a bottle at him. After a while, I mean, again, you're really challenging social norms when you say how you're supposed to behave when you get attacked. Okay, because assault is assault, right?
Yeah.
Battery is battery. Correction, thank you, sir. Battery is battery, and I can tell you this: I am non-violent, but if you hit me or put your hands on me, I can't promise you that you're going to get a consistent reaction. It depends on my mood. If I'm in it, if I see, you know what? Whew, you almost did it. But something, man, you might catch me out. I watch Easy or something, and then it's all hell breaking loose. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you hit some. The point is, you don't know, right? You don't know.
But the point is, leave Mike Tyson alone. All the stuff this guy been through. You want to, and then what's crazy about it is
everyone's been.
No. I'm saying, I'm just saying Tyson. I'm just doing his whole story. He went through a lot and he made it out. I'm happy for him. The last thing these celebrities need, man, is people kind of baiting them into lawsuits. That's what they say. Like to me, like they know if he do something, they gonna file paperwork. So I mean, and Tyson on road with security. He is the security. So I mean, it's a thin line, man.
All right.
Tito Ortiz,
If you allow yourself to be baited, then that's on you.
Yeah.
Well.
All right. Well, this wraps up our episode. Remember to like, share, subscribe to A-Side Boxing.